We spend about a third of our lives asleep, or at least we're supposed to. But for so many people, it's a nightly battle. And that's exactly what we're talking about today: insomnia. It is so much more than just one bad night.
Have you ever had one of those nights? You know the one. You're just lying there, staring at the ceiling. The clock is just ticking. It's the worst. We've all been there, for sure. But what happens when that one bad night turns into every night? When it becomes this frustrating, regular thing? Well, that's when you're crossing the line into a real health issue. All right, so let's get right into it. What is insomnia really? Because it's super important to know the difference between a real sleep disorder and, just having a rough night because you had coffee too late.
Okay, so here's the official definition. Insomnia is a genuine health disorder, and the word to focus on here is regular. This isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. It's a persistent, ongoing problem with either falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up way, way too early, and then just lying there, unable to get back to dreamland. And look, the problem doesn't just magically disappear when your alarm goes off. Nope. It spills over into your entire day. You feel totally drained, you're cranky, you can't focus on anything. And even the smallest, simplest tasks can feel like climbing a mountain. It's just overwhelming.
So you might be wondering what's causing all this. Well, insomnia isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. To really get a handle on it, we've got to look at the different types and all the things that can trigger it. So there are basically two main flavors of insomnia. First up, you've got acute insomnia. Think of this as the short-term kind. It usually pops up because of something specific, like a crazy stressful week of exams or a big life change. It lasts a few days or weeks, then goes away. But then there's chronic insomnia. This is the long-haul version. We're talking trouble sleeping at least 3 nights a week for 3 months or more. And yeah, this is the one that can really seriously mess with your quality of life.
So what's the number one culprit behind both types? You guessed it, stress and anxiety. When your mind is just racing with worries, your body kind of gets stuck in this fight or flight mode. It's pumping out stress hormones that are screaming, stay awake, be alert, danger, which is, the exact opposite of what you need to do to fall asleep. But it's not always just what's going on in our heads. Sometimes it's our habits. That late night scrolling on your phone, grabbing a coffee at 4 p.m., having a sleep schedule that's all over the place. All these things can totally throw your body's internal clock out of whack and basically roll out the red carpet for insomnia.
And this is a really important point. Sometimes insomnia isn't the main problem. It's actually a symptom of something else. Things like depression, anxiety, chronic pain, even some medications can totally disrupt your sleep. It's all connected.
Okay, so we know it makes you feel awful during the day. But why is a lack of sleep so bad for us? Well, it's because sleep isn't just about your body taking a break. It's actually a super busy, super critical time for your brain and body to do all kinds of maintenance work.
Yeah, sleep is anything but passive. While you're out, your brain is busy filing away memories. Your emotions are getting a chance to reset. Your immune system is powering up. Your body is physically repairing itself. So when you don't get enough sleep, every single one of those crucial jobs takes a massive hit.
So what's the magic number? For teens, the experts all agree. You're aiming for a solid 8 to 10 hours every single night. That's what you need to really support, everything that's going on with your growth and well-being.
But the reality, it looks a little different, doesn't it? For so many people, especially if they're dealing with insomnia, they're getting less than 7 hours. And that gap, that's where all the problems start. The crankiness, the brain fog, it all grows out of that sleep debt.
Okay, so that's all the not-so-great news. But here's the really good news. Insomnia is totally treatable. So let's flip the script. Let's talk solutions and dive into your personal insomnia toolkit, the proven strategies that can help you get your sleep back. The number one top-of-the-line treatment isn't a pill. It's a special kind of therapy called CBTI, and it is a game changer. It's all about retraining your brain. You learn how to shut down those anxious thoughts about sleep, build way healthier routines, and basically press the reset button on your body's natural sleep schedule. And that therapy goes hand in hand with what's called sleep hygiene, which is just a fancy term for good sleep habits. We're talking simple stuff that makes a huge difference, like going to bed and waking up around the same time every day, turning off screens an hour before bed, making sure your room is cool, dark, and quiet. It's a checklist for success. Now, what about medication? Well, for some really tough cases, a doctor might prescribe something, but it's usually thought of as a short-term fix.
Think of it like a bridge to get you over a really rough patch while you're working on building those long-term habits that'll stick. One of the worst parts about insomnia is how lonely it can feel. So it's really, really important that we know how to be there for a friend or a family member who's struggling with it.
So, what's the best way to help? Be patient. Just listen and don't judge. And definitely don't make jokes like, rough night, huh? Because trust me, it's not funny to them. Instead, you can gently encourage them to try some of those healthy habits and, most importantly, support them if they decide it's time to talk to a professional.
All right, as we get ready to wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final big picture idea. This is the main takeaway.
Seriously, let this one sink in. Sleep is not a luxury. It's not the thing you cut out when you get busy. It is a vital, non-negotiable part of your health. It's just as important as eating well or getting exercise. It's a pillar of your well-being. So, if any of this sounded familiar, if you're the one staring at the ceiling night after night, please don't just try to tough it out. Talk to someone, a doctor, a counselor. There are people who can help you get back on track. Because a good night's sleep isn't just a dream, it's something absolutely worth fighting for.